Good evening, ladies. My name is Marilyn Slusser. I'm a member of Delta Kappa chapter, and you were expecting to see Kathy McClendon, and I don't do a very good job of standing in for her, but I'll try to do my best. Welcome to the 4th annual meeting of the Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation. We are glad that you have chosen to join us this evening. I am the vice chairman for the foundation for the biennium of 2019 to 2021. The meeting will now come to order. The proceedings of this meeting are being recorded. At this time, please set your screens on speaker view and mute your computers. Please remain muted unless you are recognized to speak. It is very important that you can hear and be heard, as well as seen and be seen in order to fully participate. This meeting counts toward the OSO statewide attendance award, as well as the ADSOEF. To indicate your attendance, please make sure you put your name and your chapter in the chat feature of the Zoom screen. All documents related to the business of this meeting have been emailed to you through the voice, e-blast, or chapter representatives and posted on the ADSOEF website. If at any time you have a question for a presenter, please type the topic or presenter's name into your chat to everyone. Your question may be answered within the chat. Responses to questions not answered in the chat will be addressed after the meeting is adjourned. Director Diana Kirkpatrick Alpha Delta is our director host, and our co-host is Linda Diltz for this meeting, as well as Diana is president of OSO. Eileen McNally, Beta Delta, is the webmaster running the slides. Dr. Norma Kirby, Alpha Delta, is your foundation secretary. And Dr. Lois Harkins, Alpha Lambda, is foundation treasurer. All chairmen of standing committees, directors, or members will introduce themselves at the beginning of their presentations. At this time, Joyce Jones Winkham, Gamma Xi, is our parliamentarian and will now read the rules of order. Eileen.
Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation Annual Meeting Rules of Order. In addition to the ADSOEF bylaws and meeting policies and procedures, the following rules of order shall apply to the ADSOEF annual meeting. Otherwise, Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised 11th edition, is the governing parliamentary authority. The official prepared agenda shall constitute the order of business, subject to possible change by agreement of the members. The presiding officer may change the order of business if deemed advisable. Each meeting shall be called to order at the designated time. The voting body is comprised of members of Ohio State Organization, thus ADSOEF. Those members signed in for the meeting shall constitute a quorum. A member will request to speak by sending a message via chat. A member should refrain from speaking unless recognized by the presiding officer. When a member has been recognized to speak, she begins by stating her name. Each motion shall be in writing, sent by the proposer and sent to the presiding officer. The member making the motion may speak first. No member shall speak a second time on a matter under consideration until all others who wish to speak have had the opportunity to do so by common consent or the consent of the presiding officer. Each member may speak no more than 2 times. Members shall be called upon to speak, alternating between those pro and con. Joyce Jones Winkham, parliamentarian.
Are there any objections to the rules? Without any objections, the rules of order are adopted. Eileen, the annual meeting agenda is the official order of business. I would like the election of directors moved to under the nominating committee report. Are there any objections or additions? Eileen, can we show that that has been moved? Thank you. Hearing no additional changes, the agenda is adopted as revised. The first item of business happens to be the minutes. The minutes of the August 4th, 2020 annual meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections to these minutes? Please type the word correction into the chat if you found an error in the minutes. Seeing and hearing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. May we have the treasurer's report?
Good evening. I'm Lois Harkins, a member of Alpha Lambda in Athens. As your interim treasurer, it is my pleasure being in your company. This presentation is broken into 3 sections. First, I will list expectations. Second, selected pages from the annual report will be introduced. And finally, an analysis of these pages will complete the presentation. Before starting, I invite you to jot down these page numbers, or if you're working on multiple devices, find these pages in your annual report. They are pages 7 and pages 19 through 22. These are not presented in the slides tonight, as a minimum of 16-point font was highly suggested, and these are substantially smaller. Next, I ask you to please email questions to me instead of using the chat feature, as both the question and the answer might be complex. At the conclusion, I expect members to accept our sincere gratitude for your generous donations in all accounts, carefully noting the current balances. For members to feel comfortable reviewing the revenues, expenses, and asset pages and asking follow-up questions, carefully noting where funds are invested, the amount of revenue received, and how funds are dispersed. For members to become familiar as to the operating expenses involved in a nonprofit. And finally, to be heartened to learn the hours directors are volunteering for ADSOEF and receiving no salary, no financial gain, and no bonuses. Many of you might follow Charity Navigator and be surprised at the monetary breakdown of a donation, with considerable expenses going to administrative fees, which ADSOEF does not have. Now, what you're looking on the screen now is a slide that I will get to in a few minutes, but I'm going to go right to page 7 in the annual report. Page 7 explains the transition within the treasurer's position. Specifically, following Diana Haskell's resignation, I was asked to serve as the interim. Those of you making donations or receiving checks, note Diana's signature, as she has been contracted as bookkeeper. It is anticipated that I will be able to take over later this month, with my grateful appreciation of all the skills that Diana has patiently been teaching. Pages 19 through 20 detail a financial profile dated July the 1st, 2020 through February 18th, 2021. Now that is actually on your screen right now. This was prepared by Diana using my format and analysis. Now in the book in the annual report, you'll note that it's much more detailed and it's given in a profile page instead of a landscape due to the many mobile devices that you use. The graph at the top of page 19 lists all of the assets from July the 1st, and then they'll also list the assets on February the 18th. This is followed by the change in value, and that change is represented as a percentage. For both pages, I'll be using the International Studies Fund as an example. And again, I'm referring to what you're not seeing, unfortunately. With the International Studies Fund, you'll notice that the assets of July the 1st will be listed as over $200,000. Then on February the 18th, there's the assets are $212,000, and the change in value is over $12,000. This is a percentage of 16%. And again, this is reflected in every account. So just that was a sample to show you how to follow. At the bottom of page 19, you will find the asset by fund, again, using the international studies as an example. With this, it will show you where the money is invested. For instance, with the Royal Bank of Canada, the investments are over $183,000. This fund also has funds in the US checking at over $1,000. $2,000 are in the US bank money market. And in the Huntington Bank money market, there's over $25,000 for a total of $212,966. Again, this is just to show you where your monies are and how they are distributed. That will take you through page 19 in the book. Moving to page 20 and also using the International Studies Fund, you'll find the beginning balance, the revenue that was earned, the change of value, and the new asset total. Following that column, you'll see expenses for that fund and for the overall fund asset. And here is the example. The International Studies Fund started with over $200,000. It gained $10 with public support and $16 in interest. The big money came from the investments with the Royal Bank of Canada for a gain of $14,047, totaling $216,226. The expenses then from that account go towards program awards for $2,500, allocated program expenses, and fundraising. Again, I just wanted to show you where you started, the gain that was made, and then the expenses and the total. Again, you can find that with every account. These were taken from the pages that Diana produced, and then I reformatted them to make them a little easier for me to understand and hopefully for you. Those of you who aren't using the annual report right now, please remember that this is recorded and you can go back and pull those pages and follow. Moving on to page 21. This is a different format because all of you have been extremely generous donating to ADSOEF. And that is such a grateful blessing for not just us, but for all the students, the programs, everyone that you are helping. In this day and time, it's not so easy to come by money, and it's even more difficult to know what is a good investment. And I think that you will find that ADSOEF is a sound investment. For instance, as I mentioned earlier, there are no administrative fees. The business expenses are kept to a minimum. Programs that we've used in the past are continue to be supportive, and the investments are protected and sound. I've listed several examples for you to follow on that page, and I'm hopeful you'll look at it. Moving on to page 22. This is a page that Millie will actually introduce, but I need to say some words about that. This is a corrected copy of assets. You'll be quite interested to know that I can add. And I must really like to add, because in the original document, I added a set of numbers twice. So I gave us more money than what we had. I have offered my sincere apologies to those whose job I made even harder. They have accepted my apology, and I'm hopeful you will too. So Millie will explain that in more detail later. Okay, finally, we're getting to this slide that you're looking at right now. I have a total of 3 slides. All of this came from the wonderful reports that Diana had prepared. And what I think is outstanding about these pages, on this first one, this is the assets that, again, going from July 1st, which starts the fiscal year, to February the 18th, and we had to use that as a cutoff in order to have materials prepared for you for this meeting. But just look at the amount of money that's in these particular funds, and then get a snapshot of the total. And this was back in February, and we know it's going to be even better now. We've had over or nearly $660,000 in these accounts. You'll notice that the without donor restriction, this is money from you, all from you. You've given generously, and that's not to say that you haven't given to these other accounts, because I can tell you from the paperwork that I review, I can see where all of your funds are going. So thank you so much. Many times, several of you will give to several projects, and I thought it might be helpful for you to see how much money is in an account, because the larger the account balance, the more interest it's going to have. You might wish to give to one that has less money if it's one that you favor. If not, that is certainly your choice. On the bottom of the page, you will see the percentage of gain and loss from the investments. Some of you will remember a time when CDs could give you 8% interest, 10% interest, and sometimes even higher double digits. I remember when savings accounts could give you 4% interest, and now none of that is happening to us. However, through the guidance of past or former and current board members, they're carefully watching your funds. Look at that investment. The without restriction, you've gained 75% from last year. And then 16%, 13%. Again, this shows that the accounts are healthy and they are protected and they are diversified. The second slide, please. This graph represents, again, the same funds, and it will also show you the revenue, in other words, how much money has come in, and then expenses, how much money has gone out. The revenue was nearly $45,000, and the expenses totaled slightly over $11,000. The international studies gained the most revenue because it has the most money. The Student Teaching Fund also brought in large revenue, slightly over $85,000, 8,500, 85. Yes, there's the number. Later, you will hear Marilyn Slusser speak to the recipients of these projects. The revenue from without donor restriction has been greatly accepted. You'll notice it has the most expenses because the funds in these accounts can be used differently. In fact, please note the bottom of that same page and note the operating expenses. In the annual report, I think it's on page 20, I've listed the operating fees that have come out of the operating budget. And that is simply the cost of doing business. It will not surprise you to know that the major expense involves the CPA, IRS, and insurance. It's just the cost of doing business and protecting that nonprofit status. At the bottom of the page, you'll see my name. There is my email. Please email me at any time and I will respond. Next slide, please. The Woodward Fund, you might have captured your attention because it was the first asterisk. This fund was so wonderfully given to us, and it was gently and carefully invested. It was so well invested that when the stock market took a major hit in March of 2020, this fund did not lose any money. However, once the stock market started climbing back up, it really didn't gain any money. However, the funds are still there, and we've had an opportunity to relook at this, reevaluate it, and have a good discussion. And we have now been able to reinvest it, not anything risky, but just making sure that we're carefully monitoring those funds, but we want to see a plus instead of the negative. In terms of revenue, this is the public support and the contributions. That's you. It's the interest earned from the money markets. It's the interest earned from the Royal Bank of Canada that holds the majority of our funds, and dividends and gains and loss on investments. The expenses, program awards, allocated program expenses, direct program expenses, fundraising expenses, and operating expenses. The conclusions, and this was on March the 17th when we needed to have the final copy in for printing. I can't stress this enough, and it's even with the stock market's negative trend last year. The very careful investment policy that ADSOEF is following allowed our funds to rebound, which means they are well researched. They are diversified. They're invested carefully with the Royal Bank of Canada, financial advisors at Huntington and US Bank, and the former and current ADSOEF Board of Directors and financial committees, in my opinion, have done a wonderful job of protecting these investments. To conclude, as someone who is new to this board, I am humbled by the dedication, the talents, and the skills and determination of not just this board, the directors, but all of you for giving so generously and making such a positive difference to people you will maybe never know. We value you and we respect you, and we are so very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Lois. Your report will be filed with the 21 Foundation report.
Carolyn.
Thank you, Kathy.
Oh.
Barbara, my wonderful Zeta sister rescued me.
I love the fact that you're going to take over.
Oh, well, I apologize, but I'm sorry. The heavens declared, and I don't know, the lightning struck or whatever, the electricity for all of Wakeman was off. So we drove to Norwalk. So anyway, here we are to go on with the meeting, and everyone else. My name is Kathy McClendon. I am the current, soon to be on, chairman of ADSOEF. And we so appreciate you, like Lois and everyone has said. Let's move on with our committee reports. This is the heart of where the work is done, as well as, of course, the money, all the money that comes in and makes the profit so that we can give out the awards. So, Millie, do you have a finance committee report, please?
Good evening. My name is Millie Holzer, and along with Lois, I'm the other newbie on the board of directors. The finance committee is composed of Dr. Pam Anderson of Alpha Delta chapter, Dr. Lois Harkins of Alpha Lambda chapter, Jane Hauser of Gamma Phi chapter, Donna Myers of Kappa chapter, and myself from Beta Zeta chapter. From September through February, We studied the responsibilities of the committee and developed plans for the 2021-2022 budget. We wanted to create a budget that was easy to understand and implement. One of the financial requirements of a private charitable foundation is that a minimum of 5% of asset holdings are distributed each year. So our first goal was to establish the amount of the total assets of the foundation. We chose June the 30th, 2020, and calculated our total assets as of that date. That's the page 22 that Lois referred to. It's also on the website if you want to see that page. Then, after we found that the total assets, we took that 5%. And as you can see from this slide, the revenue and disbursements are both set at $35,765. Now that amount is actually 5.7% of our total assets as of June 30, 2020. The extra 0.5%, the extra 0.7% gives us some flexibility as earned income will change from time to time. The amount of donations will also change from time to time. Keep in mind that a budget is only a guideline. If a request for an expense arises that is substantially more than the budgeted amount or that is not included in the budget, the request will be considered by the Finance Committee before approval. With income from sound investments and generous donations, we can continue to support purposes 3, 5, and 6 of the Delta Kappa Gamma Society International. My thanks to the committee for sharing their thoughts and expertise to carry out the various aspects of this work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Millie, and thanks to your committee. Fundraising, Sandra. Sandy, are you muted?
There, I did it. That
Okay.
unmute did not work. My apologies, everyone. Hello, yes, we do have a fundraising committee report. My name is Sandy Royer, and I'm from Delta Kappa. OSO Sisters, statistics show you are amazing. You support your educational foundation through your philanthropic giving. The picture on the screen tells the fundraising story. Yes, a Heart for All's fundraising goal of $8,000 was met and exceeded. As you see, hearts fill and overflow our state of Ohio. Now, individual sponsors offered a total of $2,500 for a match to help start the effort, while members open their hearts to meet and exceed these gifts. We are thankful for each donor. Gratitude comes from directors and fundraising committee members. Please note their names on the screen at the bottom of the state of Ohio. They are phenomenal workers. With your giving, beneficiaries receive financial awards for their educational endeavors. Now, fundraising is always ongoing, and donors may make contributions at any time for any of the funds. The birthday luncheon is a way of doing just that. It is a tradition from state conventions. Individuals would sit at tables with sisters while each made their personal contribution for Esther H. Strickland student teaching grants or other funds of their choice. Please join the party this Saturday as a virtual event continues our tradition. As the slide shows, spring reminds us to help our garden grow, and seed money of $1,000 from an anonymous donor has sprouted. Do you see the plant coming up on the screen? I do. Others have added seeds already, but you're not late. So let your money seeds sprout too. Please make your gift considering what you might have given in past years. You may give through the link on our website with your credit card, or print a contribution form and mail with your check. Please share this gifting event with your sisters. And oh, we so appreciate our chapter representatives for spreading the word. Let's see continued growth through the end of April. Please know that each gift does make a difference. All contributors are thanked from the bottom of our hearts. We applaud you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Jackie, you have a marketing report.
Good evening. I am Jackie Faye Burge from Alpha Upsilon from Miami-Dade County. And I think we could have the first slide. I hope that you read our report, and you will notice on our page here that we have a new address. ADSOEF.org can be put into your search bar and it will pop right up to our homepage. It's also still accessible if you type in DKG Ohio or ADSOEF. I think, well, what was it before? Weebly. So this is our new address. ADSOEF.org gets you right to our homepage. When you get to our homepage, you will find everything you need: applications, explanations, board of directors, everything that you need. We also have a Facebook page. Whether or not you like social media, it is here to stay. In fact, I think our members do like social media, as our Facebook page has grown from 284 likes and shares by December of 2018 to well over 5,000 at the end of July of 2020. So, and it continues to grow from here. If you're not a Facebook fan right now, go to your Facebook page, look for your magnifying glass, put it in the search engine. You can just type in ADSOEF, or you can type in the entire word Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation. Then follow us on Facebook for up-to-date information or reminders, funny memes, and information. Soon you'll find information about our new student teaching grant recipients, and I'm sure you want to hear more about them. So thank you for all that you've done, and continue to follow us wherever we go.
Thank you, Jackie. Donor relations. Betty, you have a word for us? Betty, are you muted?
Mainly because of the boards packing the sows and pretty much make the miscarriage so they go back and eat sooner. In my experience, free range.
There she's coming. Betty, gotta unmute.
Make that sow before those piglets. The boards are only part of it, the other half is pregnant. Yeah. They seem to be able to tell when our sows are having piglets. We had 20 at one time serving their very property. I've had over 100.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Was completely over the other side from where I'm used to looking. Sorry.
Well, welcome, Betty.
Thank you. Betty Monahan,
It's important to have some
Beta Lambda Chapter, Columbus. I'm also chair of the Donor Relations Committee. I am humbled and honored by all the contributions that we have received during this past year. A year that is certainly unlike any other that we have experienced in our lifetime. But with your generosity, it seems that you have embodied the theme that Diana Kirkpatrick chose for her biennium: belong, believe, build. Except I switched that around. It's believe, belong, build. Sorry. The Heart for All campaign, as you heard, surpassed all expectations. It started in November, very strong, and has continued to be strong during January, February, and March. Your hearts, as you saw, did fill up Ohio and then overflowed. Although in this time when everything seemed to be virtual, we know that your enthusiasm and support was real. The recipients of the scholarships, grants, and fellowships, thank you also. Because of you, they have been able to pursue their dreams and to follow their hearts and continue their education. They have been able to do this because of you. And in some cases, they worked through a whole world of virtual, in-person, and we're still able to get their accomplishments. As I recall last year, I told you all you were awesome. Well, you have soared past awesome. But the words that echo in my heart tonight, and that of all of our directors, is thank you. You are appreciated, you are awesome, and you are the heart of ADSOEF. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Betty. And your committee. Betty's committee writes those little notes both to the recipients, or excuse me, the donors of our gifts, and also to those who are honored and to the families of those who are memorialized. So there's a lot of work involved in that committee, and it's an important part of our work. The chair now recognizes our Educational Services Committee Chairman, Chris.
Hello, I am Chris Snoddy from Athens County, and my chapter is Alpha Lambda. I'm ready for my slides. The Educational Services Committee is in charge of awarding 3 different grants: the Lifelong Learning Award, the Individual Classroom and Community Projects Award, and a Leadership Award. And the goal of our committee is to create change, both in our organization and in our communities. Go ahead. Here are my committee members. Chris Snoddy, I'm chairperson. Karen Dunn from Alpha Psi and Jane Warner from Alpha Delta have been on the committee with me for over a year now. And new members from the fall are Mary Burkhart from Delta Kappa and Melody McGee from Gamma Nu. The Lifelong Learning Award supports members for expenses related to personal learning, such as attending Osher Lifelong Learning Institute classes or other institutes, or in your own community education workshops, or a program called Road Scholar, which combines travel and scholar opportunities. You can also apply for expenses related to your professional development, CE units, or professional learning to renew your license. And note in blue by the star, application for this award may be submitted at any time during the year. It's a little confusing because the International Foundation does have deadlines, but here in Ohio, with our foundation and this committee, you can apply at any time. Go ahead. A second type of award that we grant is the Individual Classroom Community Award, and this provides up to $500 in financial support to groups or individuals for projects that benefit children and education in the schools or in nonprofit settings or in community-based settings. Some examples could be projects for arts, reading or math literacy, language classes for migrants, cultural enrichment, or environmental education. And again, you can apply at any time during the year for this award. And the picture here is from an actual project that was awarded before I was chairperson. This was a summer program in near the Zanesville area. And the children were working on keeping their reading skills up over the summer and combining that with history and a lot of field trips. So that is an example of one award. The third award then is our Leadership Award. And this provides support to members for expenses related to developing leadership knowledge, skills, or experiences. And we particularly want to fund folks who are learning and gaining skills related to nonprofit leadership or board participation. So we want to be able to strengthen DKG and other nonprofit groups that you might volunteer with. Again, just highlighting this can be applied for at any time during the year. Next slide. So the Educational Services Committee has only awarded 3 grants since July of 2020. And all 3 grants were in the leadership category. Both Diana Haskell and Meyer Bauer from Gamma Phi attended a webinar that was about nonprofit governance and legal compliance. And then in addition, Diana Haskell also attended a separate training about using QuickBooks specifically in a nonprofit organization. So 3 awards is not very much, and we are wanting to be able to spend more money and give away more grants. So our committee leaves you with these thoughts that you are the lifelong learner who can apply for a grant for that. You are the one that can create changes in your classrooms and in your communities. And you are the one who can change the number of women willing to lead in organizations. So we hope that you will take the initiative to imagine, and you will take the initiative to create change. So apply today. At the bottom, the new website, ADSOEF.org. The applications are fillable online, so you can simply type in your information on the form online, and it emails to me. Then I share it with my committee, and we discuss giving the grants. You could also print it and the old-fashioned way if you wanted to, but I encourage you to do that through the website. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. You have done a marvelous job, and your committee coming on kind of mid-year and taking over, even though you were on the committee before. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scholarship, Marilyn, thank you so much for taking charge at the beginning of this meeting too.
Just thank you, Kathy, for coming. And we do have a scholarship report, and you have been introduced to me, so I'm not going to go there. The ADSOEF OSO Scholarship Committee has shared a very exciting year. It was in September that we bid Naman Devanyan congratulations and farewell from Kent State University. Naman had completed her studies, graduated, and was returning home to Mongolia. Upon leaving, she wanted OSO members to know that she will always have a warm place in her heart for all OSO members and how they supported her to fulfill her dream in education. The OSO Scholarship Committee is happy to report that ADSOEF will be funding 10 Esther H. Strickland student teaching grants for the school year 21-2022. Tonight, you will get to meet these new recipients. Brooke Anderson, Shawnee State University. Brooke Carver, Wright State University. Carly Derrickson, Ohio University, Lancaster. Alicia Jenkins, Ohio State University, Newark. Ross Kaufman, Ohio State University, Lima. Samantha Lowe, Ohio University, Lancaster. Megan Manning, Wright State University. Ashlyn Moore, Wright State University. Michael Sweeney, Ohio University. Maya Violet, Wright State University. We wish each of these recipients success as they begin their career in education. The March e-blast featured Ganel Alisgrova, Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation's latest A. Margaret Boyd Overseas Fellowship recipient. Ganel is currently preparing for finals to end her first year of study at Kent State University. She has done very well considering all classes are virtual. Ganel has asked for an extension to her fellowship, and the ADSOEF Board of Directors has voted to extend her grant for the school year 2021 to 2022 in the amount of $2,500. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to share Ganel with all of you and ask her to share a few words with you this evening. Ganel.
Thank you very much. My name is Günel Alaskarova and I'm from Azerbaijan. I just want to say that it is so amazing to see so many powerful women together here. It's so unbelievable. I would like to thank all members of Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation and Ohio State Organization of Delta Kappa Gamma for the invitation to this meeting, and of course for your valuable support in my education. I'm in my second term at Kent State University, getting my master's degree in educational research, measurement, and statistics. As my friend Marilyn said, I have completed my first term with excellent scores, and now I'm again fully engaged in my classes, activities, and presentations. We came here in January with my husband and 2 sons. Now they study in the elementary school and my husband works remotely. On March 19th, my dear friend Marilyn with her husband came and visited my family. That is one of the best memorable days for our family in the USA. we talked, we had a very interesting time together. Dear Marilyn came with letters, presents, gift cards, notes from kind-hearted people. I am grateful for the attention, trust, and support from the OSO, ADSOEF members. It's my honor to be Margaret Boyd Overseas Fellowship Scholar. This scholarship helps me to acquire theoretical and practical skills in educational research and then take it back to my home country education system. Thank you one more time for all the goodness you spread to the world, and I am part of that kindness. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Benel. Thank you, Marilyn, for all you have done. too.
Oh, I'm not finished yet.
Okay.
Currently, the scholarship committee has received 6 new dossiers from the Institute International Studies to read and rank in hopes of receiving a new A. Margaret Boyd Overseas Fellowship recipient for the school year 2021-2022. Thank you to all chapters and chapter members for your continued support to Alpha Delta State Ohio Educational Foundation. This allows us to help outstanding educators achieve their goals. Thank you to my committee members, Sharon Calhoun, Beta Lambda, Sue Loader, Alpha Psi, Danielle Sobchak, Alpha Theta, Jackie Thays Birch, Alpha Upsilon, and myself as chairman. Thank you.
Thank you again, Marilyn, and thank you, Benel. Our next item of business is governance. Karen?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I am Karen Kern-Lazier from Gamma Phi, and I am the chair of the Governance Committee. Since our last annual meeting, the Governance Committee has reviewed, revised, and helped to develop policies and procedures for the foundation. This study was done to determine if these documents continue to meet the needs of the organization. The policies of the foundation can be found on the website along with the bylaws. If you remember, during the 2019-2020 term, the Governance Committee did a major review and revision of the bylaws, and these were passed by the Board of Directors in February 2020. After the last annual meeting in August, issues came before the board, and it was discovered that current bylaws did not adequately address solutions to these problems. The Governance Committee recommended changes to the board, and these were voted upon and passed in November 2020 and January 2021. The slide on your screen indicates which articles and sections were affected, and these are the change of our legal address to Washington Courthouse. This is registered with the state. A 6-week written notice is to be given to the Board of Directors if a Board of Director needs to resign her post. This can be waived in case of serious illness or accident. And the last one, if new board officers are elected prior to July 1st, everyone present at that meeting, new directors, continuing directors, and outgoing directors are eligible to vote on this matter. ADSOEF is emerging from its infancy and continues to develop and grow into a strong foundation. We recognize that a bylaw document is not stagnant, but one that needs to be continually reviewed and revised to determine if it continues to cover issues and/or problems that arise. The names of the other Governance Committee members are listed at the bottom of the slide, and I thank all of them for their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. And committee. Norma, do we have a nominating committee report?
Yes, we do. Thank you, Kathy.
Welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for being here at our 4th annual meeting. It's good to see so many of you. I'm Dr. Norma Kirby, and I'm chairman of the nominating committee. The chairman of the foundation board of directors appointed 2 current directors and 3 non-directors to the foundation nominating committee for 2019 and 2021, representing all geographic regions of the Ohio State Organization and ADSOEF. The committee will present a slate of candidates for available director positions at this annual meeting and then every year beginning in 2023. The ADSOEF director application and description of position were revised by the committee and are available on the foundation website. Any member of OSO, and you're also a member of the foundation, is eligible to serve as a director of the foundation. The committee has reviewed applications and we have recruited the following candidates for the open positions for director. Debbie Frazier is a member of Beta Road chapter and she is currently serving on the donor relations committee. Debbie retired after teaching 37 years and she's currently a part-time personnel analyst for Columbus Civil Service. She has served in a number of offices in her chapter, including president, and she's currently the chapter historian. The next candidate is Dr. Lois Harkins, who is a member of Alpha Lambda chapter, and you met her earlier, and she was appointed to the board in September of 2020 and is currently serving as the treasurer. She dedicated 44 years to education in a variety of settings. She served DKG in many capacities at both the chapter and state levels, and she's extremely active in her community. During the 2019-21 biennium, Lois served as the leadership chairman for OSO. Millie Holzer, a member of Beta Zeta chapter, was appointed to the ADSOEF board in September of 2020, and she is currently serving as finance committee chair. She served as the state president from 1997 to 99, and she presented the very first appreciation awards to members who had not served as state president and had provided great service to our organization. She served in numerous roles at both the chapter and state levels, and she taught math at Bowling Green State University. Judith Rank is a member of Gamma Gamma chapter. Now, in a couple of publications, you might have seen her last name spelled Rankin, and I apologize, that was my mistake. It was a typo, but we've got it straight now. Judy is a retired teacher who has been involved in fundraising and awarding scholarships for the Toledo Panhellenic Group. She has a degree in marketing as well as a degree in education. Judy has served as chapter president and she's currently the chapter treasurer. You met Marilyn Slusser, who is a member of Kappa chapter, Delta Kappa chapter, and she has served as a director since 2017. You met her as the scholarship chairman for OSO, and she's the liaison between OSO and ADSOEF in that capacity. She's a charter member of her chapter, and she served as the OSO president from 2001 to 2003. She has served her chapter in international and offices and committees that are just too numerous to name all of them. Chris Snoddy is a member of Alpha Lambda chapter, and she's currently the chairman of the Educational Services Committee, and you met her. She retired after 35 years in education, and she continues to substitute teach. Chris has held many chapter office positions, including president, and she has served on many committees. She's active in her community activities as well. And I'm Dr. Norma Kirby, Alpha Delta chapter. I've been a director since 2017, and during that time I've served as the chairman of the board from 2017 to 19, and I'm currently the secretary. I served as president for OSO from 2011 to 13, and I have held a variety of offices in both my chapter and at the state level. I've been active at the international level, and I was fortunate to attend the Golden Gift Leadership Seminar way back in 1997. Madam Chairman, the ADSOEF Nominating Committee submits the following nominations for director. Debbie Frazier, Beta Rho Chapter 2021 to 2024. Dr. Lois Harkins, Alpha Lambda Chapter 2021 to 2024. Millie Holzer, Beta Zeta Chapter 2021 to 2024. Judith Rank, Gamma Gamma Chapter 2021 to 24. Marilyn Slusser, Delta Kappa Chapter 2021 to 23. Chris Snoddy, Alpha Lambda Chapter 2021 to 24. And I will be 2021 to 2023. I would like to thank the other members of the nominating committee: Sally Gilmore, Sigma Chapter from the Northeast; Joanne Ingram, Omicron Chapter from the Southeast; Karen Kern-Lazier, Gamma Phi from the Southwest; and Barbara J. Smith from Zeta Chapter from the Northwest. Madam Chairman, that completes my report.
Thank you, Norma.
You're welcome.
Are there any nominations from the floor? Do you see any?
Madam Chairman, I do not see any.
Okay, thank you very much. Then seeing none, I declare that nominations for director are now closed. Is there a motion from the nominating committee?
Yes, we have a motion. By direction of the ADSOEF Nominating Committee, I move to approve the following members for the 7 open positions of ADSOEF Director. Debbie Frazier, Beta Rho, 2021-24. Dr. Lois Harkins, Alpha Lambda Chapter, 2021-24. Millie Holzer, Beta Zeta Chapter, 2021 to 24. Dr. Norma Kirby, Alpha Delta Chapter 2021 to 23. Judith Rank, Gamma Gamma Chapter 2021 to 24. Marilyn Slusser, Delta Kappa Chapter 2021 to 23. And Chris Snoddy, Alpha Lambda Chapter 2021 to 24. Since this motion comes from the nominating committee, no second is needed.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I need to read this motion again. By direction of Dr. Norma Kirby, moved that by direction of the ADSOEF Nominating Committee, she moved to approve the following members for the 7 open positions for ADSOEF Director. Debbie Frazier, Beta Rho Chapter 2021 to 24. Dr. Lois Harkins, Alpha Lambda Chapter 2021 to 24. Millie Holzer, Beta Zeta Chapter 2021 to 24. Dr. Norma Kirby, Alpha Delta Chapter 2021 to 23. Judith Rank, Gamma Gamma Chapter 2021 to 24. Marilyn Slusser, Delta Kappa Chapter 2021 to 23. And Christine Snoddy, Alpha Lambda Chapter 2021 to 24. Since we have 1 nominee for each open position for director and nominations were uncontested, I declare these members directors by acclamation. Let's give them a round of applause. Very good. Thank you, foundation members. Please welcome your new foundation directors. Do we have any unfinished business? Sally, are you putting your hand up? No? I think not, huh? Okay.
Madam Chairman, I see none.
Okay, thank you. New business. Seeing none, I think it's time for announcements. And anybody else have any announcements? I have just a few. And I know we're over time, but any announcements at all? No. Well, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all of you who decided to participate today. You are the foundation. Please remember that every day. You are a DKG member of OSO and you are a member of this foundation. So we all help it grow. And so we can offer lots of benefits to members and to non-members. All of you who donate dollars, you who encourage members and non-members to apply for awards, you who volunteer time and talent as chapter representatives, committee members, and directors, you make funding the future of excellence in education happen. So we thank you. If there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much. I don't think there were.
Are we going to ask a few people to stay so I could spotlight them?
Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna. I can stay these. I don't think so. I don't.
What did you want to do?
I've got it.
Okay.
Let's see here. Do I have to be on gallery view?
No, you can be on any view, but you go up into the, you are co-host. Did you find the dots?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight Sandy right now.
Okay, I just spotlighted Norma.
I'm going to spotlight
I'm going to do Charlene.
Maryland. Okay, that's fine.
Okay. And then to undo, same thing.
Let's do one more. Do one more.
Okay.
Let's do Millie.
Okay.
Okay, so that's about what we have. No.
Now we'll have 6 on one of them.
Right, that's,
I think
yeah.
I'll get it here.
There
Okay.
you go, get Debbie, yeah. So, yeah.
And then
You get all these 4 on there and then like Norma does, who's doing the nominating committee?
Patty.
Patty, that's right. So we should have Patty and then the other 5 on there.
So we'll
Then
have
Patty will
6,
do
right?
And then all you hear them say is I will, or
Okay.
you'll see their mouths move, I will.
All right. So we'll get all 6 of them up there.
Right, if we can find them.
Well, you have 3 and I have 3. Maybe we can manage it.
All righty, we'll try.
Yeah, we'll do our best.
Yeah. Thank you
All right.
guys for being our guinea pigs.
Thank you.
We gotcha.
Nice job.
And Linda, whoops,
Yes.
I just sent you an email at the beginning of the annual meeting tonight with a script for the birthday party so that you'll know some people that need to be highlighted.
Okay.
Okay, Diana has it too. So I didn't realize they couldn't just unmute themselves and start to talk.